teaches intermittent fasting class. I'm Yvette Peterson, and this is an Auditing Insanity flashback to January 6, 2023. Jose Chille de Castro returned to live streaming on Monday, January 6, 2023, in order to give his long-delayed class on intermittent fasting. Looking pale and emaciated and acting more distracted and disoriented than normal, de Castro explained that he's been fasting 22 to 26 hours a day for the past 5 days. He then revealed his personal plan that allows him to eat within a 1 to 3 hour window each night and that he only takes in black coffee, green tea and pink Himalayan salt when he is actively fasting. Making a lot of claims about intermittent fasting, without providing scientific proof, de Castro claimed that fasting can break down different cells related to gout, high blood pressure and cancer. Stating that he was a pro at intermittent fasting and that he had been doing the program since 2018, he continued to claim that fasting can cure most ailments humans face and can reverse aging. This continues a disturbing pattern of medical claims by de Castro, as earlier in the day he made tweets blaming COVID-19 vaccinations for the cardiac arrest suffered by Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin and other athletes. De Castro wrote, "Super athletes are super screened for cardiac abnormalities. The writing is on the wall. This is mass murder by governments around the world that tried to force us to put that shit in our bodies. A lot of my family and friends did the jab." Terrifying. Chille de Castro is not a trained dietitian and claims to have gained his expertise by watching YouTube videos and experimenting with fasting. He did not offer any actual scientific proof to back his claims in his video. Please consult an actual doctor or dietitian before starting any weight loss programs. De Castro verbally assaults woman at police station. I'm Yvette Peterson, and this is a really cool news flashback to January 7, 2023. Jose Chille de Castro attempted to audit a police station in Henderson, Nevada, on January 6, 2023. De Castro entered the police station and approached a mom and child. The mom asked de Castro to tell the child about the rights all Americans have. They had a brief exchange before de Castro wandered around the station, eventually filming the men's room and a water fountain. The woman again approached de Castro and asked him to stop filming while her child was being interviewed by a police officer. De Castro replied that he would move if the woman wanted to share secrets with the police. Then he stood in place. The woman became enraged and began to raise her voice towards de Castro. Her actions attracted the police, who separated the two and asked de Castro to exit the building. De Castro asked the police officers to de-escalate and began to explain that he was a constitutional law scholar and audited for a living. He threatened the police with a civil rights lawsuit if they interfered with his rights. He eventually dismissed the officers, and they walked off once he appeared calm. De Castro remained in the building for some time after the incident. Eventually, the sergeant on duty approached de Castro and explained that de Castro had the right to film in the lobby but did not have the right to film while the minor was giving her personal information. When de Castro said that he was going to correct the officer declined to listen and walked away. Eventually leaving the station, de Castro finished the broadcast by making a number of confusing statements afterwards, including claiming to have given up swearing, that his Delete Laws Clips channel was shadow banned and that the police sergeant did not understand the First Amendment. Blue Bacon granted restraining order. I'm Yvette Peterson, and this is a really cool news flashback to January 7, 2023. YouTuber Blue Bacon returned to live streaming on Friday, January 6, 2023, with news that he was granted a 1-year protection order against Jose Chille de Castro. Bacon claimed that after the last hearing, where the judge in the case granted Bacon the ability to serve de Castro via email, Bacon's team sent de Castro multiple emails a day to all 4 of his known email addresses. The emails contained a tracking dot that revealed that de Castro accessed the mail nearly 200 times. That, plus DeCastro's actions in sending copies of one of the mailings to YouTuber Merb, who promptly read the entire email and attached documents in a live stream, were enough to satisfy the court service requirements. According to Bacon, after doing a basic review of the case and finding that DeCastro was not present in court nor was he present in Zoom chat, the judge ruled in Bacon's favor and granted the protection order for 1 year. DeCastro is not to have contact with Bacon during that period, and while Bacon believes that DeCastro can still produce videos about him, Bacon promised to clarify the guidelines in the future. Jose Chille DeCastro live streamed for a second time on Friday, January 6, 2023, with a video looking at the controversial detainment of a Wall Street Journal reporter. The story emerged on Friday that the Wall Street Journal was demanding an investigation into the detainment of reporter Dion Rabouin outside of a Chase Bank in Phoenix, Arizona in November. Rabouin claimed that he was attempting to interview customers when he was approached by representatives of the bank who asked what he was doing and was later detained by police for 15 minutes before being released. DeCastro did not address the developments in the Blue Bacon case from earlier in the day. However, his associate, Delete Laws Clips, stated in chat that there was no hearing and no protection order issued as DeCastro was not properly served in the case. Turning his attention to videos involving police corruption, DeCastro finished the stream when his dog, Charlie, sat on his lap and demanded attention. Chille at a crossroads, has anything changed? I'm Yvette Peterson and this is a really cool news flashback to January 8, 2023. When we last investigated the life of Jose Chille DeCastro, he was at a crossroads. Essentially homeless, evicted from his long-promised studio, sources of revenue drying up, his only legal help leaving him after DeCastro accidentally doxed him, but looking towards the new year with hope, resolution and a renewed sense of his place in the universe. 2023 was going to be Chille DeCastro's year. He was going to be a source of light and love, he was going to change people's lives with his fasting plan, he was going to make a real difference and real change. His goal was going to lead him down the path of governorship of a major state and he was going to change the very justice system that he felt has corrupted the great United States. Until he found the road too steep for his borrowed van, essentially giving up on the first day, turning the van around and deciding to go back to the road that led him to poverty, grifting and misery in the first place. The first day of the year did indeed bring change into the life of Jose DeCastro. He held a live stream to support Jacqueline Laney Hudson, a 13-year-old girl who was killed in a car accident involving an off-duty police officer. During his live stream, he managed to raise about $800 for the family's GoFundMe towards Laney's funeral. It was a great way to start the year as he showed he could have a positive impact upon the community. He then squashed all that goodwill by going live again, this time to promote his dangerous intermittent fasting program. Claiming that it could cure everything from high blood pressure to gout to cancer, he promised results to his followers that he could not back as he had no real program, scientific evidence or anything more than faith in his knowledge to show his fans. The second day of the year saw problems forming with DeCastro and the family of Jacqueline Laney Hudson. He went live again, this time in dramatic tones, attempting to use the subject as part of an uprising against the police. DeCastro urged the children of West Virginia to take to the streets in protest, confiscate video equipment from homeowners and businesses in the area where Hudson was killed and not to trust police officers. At one point going as far as to tell witness that they can't trust the police in the area with their reporting and he should be considered the single source of truth for their reports. DeCastro, in a heinous move, called Hudson's mother during a candlelight vigil for her daughter to badger her about police corruption. Hudson's mother hung up on him and DeCastro dropped all coverage of Hudson's situation. In the middle of the week, YouTube acknowledged DeCastro's copyright lawsuit. Attorney Benjamin D. Margot from the lawsuit of Wilson, Sonsini, Goodrich and Rosati, PC, filed a waiver of service of summons with the Massachusetts court, acknowledging the lawsuit and giving a 60-day timetable, starting on December 3, 2022, for YouTube to provide a reply or else face a default judgment. By now, DeCastro had another new cause. This time he had heard of a case where the police had raided the hospital room of a cancer patient who was using marijuana to cope with the pain of his treatment. DeCastro went live with a video he had found of the alleged incident. DeCastro even called the police department in the case, promising to call back daily until he was able to talk to the chief of police and demand real change. Alas, for DeCastro, the incident he so dramatically featured was from 2019. Police investigated Nolan Sousley, who was undergoing treatment for stage 4 pancreatic cancer in Missouri, for use of Puff Puff at the hospital. Sousley filmed the police raid himself for his YouTube channel. Sousley died soon after and faced no criminal charges from the raid. A confused DeCastro probably had heard of the case of Greg Bretz, a cancer patient in Hays, Kansas, who made national headlines in 2022 when he was charged with drug possession after police raided his hospital room. This had made national headlines in the last week of 2022 and apparently was the inspiration for DeCastro's outrage. Bretz's drug charges had been dropped by this point. DeCastro, now showing signs of what some would consider mental impairment, live-streamed on Thursday, January 5, 2023, this time explaining that he had been fasting for 22 to 26 hours a day for the past 5 days. He made a rambling and sometimes incoherent statement about how fasting ate cells that were associated with cancer, gout, high blood pressure and diabetes and could even cure aging. Friday, January 6, 2023, was probably the worst day of the week for DeCastro. He filed a confusing and disjointed reply to Kate Peter and Josh Abrams' individual motions to dismiss his charges in his federal copyright lawsuit. In his filing, he made it clear that he believed that he did not have to state actual charges or provide evidence against Peter or Abrams, as a general statement that he believed they did something wrong would do. He also doubled down on his demand for the use of the RICO statutes to prosecute Peter and Abrams, as he alleged they were in a criminal conspiracy to use his material he held the copyright for, again, without providing details of his allegations. When DeCastro was scheduled to be in a Pierce County, Washington, courtroom for a hearing in Blue Bacon's protection order case, DeCastro was auditing a police station in Henderson, Nevada. During the audit, DeCastro was verbally assaulted by a mother who was uncomfortable with DeCastro's recording as it was near her 13-year-old daughter, who was providing a statement to police. Police separated the two and DeCastro used common auditing tactics to belittle and educate the police officers. Declaring himself an alpha male and the police were all betas, DeCastro left, reportedly after his chat alerted him that the police were now aware that there were outstanding warrants for his arrest in Ohio. DeCastro returned to live streaming later that night. This time focusing on the case of Dion Rabouin, a Wall Street Journal reporter who was detained by police in Arizona in November. Rabouin had made headlines earlier in the day as the Journal demanded an investigation into his detainment. During this broadcast, Delete Laws Clips, the associate of DeCastro who runs his secondary YouTube channel, denied that there was a hearing in the Blue Bacon case and that no protection order was granted, claiming that DeCastro had never been served and directing chat to drop the matter. The first week of the year was not good for Jose Chille DeCastro. With more failures, bad behavior, apparent mental deterioration due to lack of nutrients, DeCastro has now left the family member's house he was staying at. Armed with his bedroll, borrowed van and aged dog Charlie, we can only hope that his second week of 2023 is better than his first. Praising his skills in dealing with police officers and calling himself a force of nature, Jose Chille DeCastro continued his pivot to portray himself as the world's greatest auditor as he went live on Sunday, January 9, 2023. In an almost 4-hour-long live stream, attended by 183 of his 55,600 subscribers, DeCastro reviewed his previous audits and highlighted an audit by his newfound friend, YouTuber and FOIA specialist, Audit Them. De Castro continued his claims of being shadow banned by YouTube, stating that he used to make $2,700 a month from his content and now was down to less than $1,000 a month. He stated that he would be filing 2 more lawsuits this week against people who he thought were good in the next week before going on an extended rant about the woman who confronted him at a police station yesterday. De Castro affirmed his belief that he was an alpha male and would not be controlled by a female.
Turtle Boy releases secret recording of Kate Peter. I'm Johnny Jones, and this is a really cool news flashback to January 10, 2023. Blogger Turtle Boy released secretly recorded audio of Kate Peter taking part in her audio channel on her Discord. In the recording, taken without knowledge or permission of anyone in the chat, and later edited by Turtle Boy, Peter was blunt in her description of her home life during the audio, admitting defending herself from physical attacks by family members, allowing her daughter to smoke cigarettes on occasion, and other details of her home life. This is part of a continued campaign by Turtle Boy, who provoked an altercation with Peter's husband, Andrew Johnson, after Peter's arraignment last week for allegedly violating the restraining order placed on her by Turtle Boy's alleged mistress. Turtle Boy had released video of himself following Peter and Johnson out of the court hearing and asking questions of Peter in his role as a journalist before Johnson and Peter's attorney blocked his way. This is the second incident with Turtle Boy in recent days, as Turtle Boy followed Peter to her car, again in his guise as a journalist, at the previous court hearing, mocking her for not having a male presence with her for protection. This continues a pattern of Peter using the voice chat on her public Discord server as her personal therapy room, escaping into it to talk with friends about her problems and being very blunt in her details of her personal life. Some have criticized her more recent actions online as erratic, as she is clearly uncomfortable with the pressures of fame and has acted in a manner that her more ardent supporters disagree with. Full disclosure, reporter Jim Finch did not have an audio input device hooked up to his PC, but was in the chat room briefly during this incident as part of his daily reporting duties, and his activity in chat may have been recorded by Turtle Boy. First Amendment auditor Long Island Audit announced on his YouTube channel that he is being sued by YouTuber Mark Stout for $12 million. In a 45-minute live stream, Long Island Audit was joined by attorney Corey J. Zinman and shared the PDF document, which alleges that Long Island Audit entered Stout's property on May 20, 2022, ignoring no trespassing signs and refused to leave the property when requested to do so. Stout called the police, and Long Island Audit was charged with criminal trespassing. Stout is suing Long Island Audits, claiming that the alleged trespass and unlawful entry was planned in an effort to make a video for his channel, resulting in financial gain. Stout is seeking general compensation in the amount of $4 million per claim, punitive damages in the amount of $4 million per claim, litigation costs, and all other relief and equitable relief the court deems just. Telecline details Glenn Serio probation terms. I'm Johnny Jones, and this was originally presented on January 11, 2023. In a new video posted on her YouTube channel, Telecline displays the documents involved in Glenn Serio's court cases and details the terms of probation. For the trespassing case with the City of Everett Police Department, Serio had a 6-month deferred prosecution. Serio has completed his 6-month deferral, but still has been ordered to stay out of the police department and a local Walmart until May of 2023. As part of Serio's conviction for reckless driving, he is on monitored unsupervised probation until late July of 2023. Lastly, for his trespassing charges in the city of Mukilteo, Serio cannot have similar offenses or trespassing cases until May of 2024. If Serio violates his terms in the Mukilteo case, he faces full charges for the famous trespassing incident from early 2022. Serio recently returned from a 9-month absence from the auditing scene, toning down his usual aggressive style and avoiding contact with police.
De Castro joins press with Ranker Legal Defense. I'm Yvette Peterson, and this article was originally published on January 11, 2023. Chille de Castro continued his pivot into the champion of First Amendment auditors by featuring First Amendment auditor Press with Rancor on a live stream on January 10, 2023, in front of 172 of his 56,200 subscribers. The two men reviewed the body cam footage of Rancor's November arrest in Michigan for interfering with a traffic stop. The video provided audio that Rancor's personal recording of the incident lacked. In it, Rancor refuses instructions by police officers to back away from the traffic stop and can be seen moving forward towards the officer, resulting in his arrest. De Castro urged viewers to contact the Michigan ACLU and the prosecutor in the case, demanding justice for Rancor. In related news, the person on the Delete Lawzy YouTube account during the broadcast, either De Castro himself or associate Delete Lawzy Clips, who handles video chevron duties during the broadcasts, claimed to have copied motions from Mark Stout, who had a recent debate with Merb on Kate Peters' Masshole Report channel and who is now suing Long Island Audit for $12 million. De Castro claims Kate Peter hacked new website. I'm Yvette Peterson and this article was originally presented on January 12, 2023. Chille de Castro interviewed YouTuber Good Citizen News on January 12, 2023. The live stream focused on Good Citizen News visiting a juvenile detention center in Harris County, Texas, earlier in the day where he was briefly detained by police after refusing to show identification. Good Citizen News was released by police without charges and had red marks on his wrists from the handcuffs. De Castro took issue with the treatment of Good Citizen News while promoting his new website endtorturecuffs.com. He stated that he would be writing an intent to sue document for Good Citizen News later that night for Good Citizen News to present to officials in Harris County, Texas. Apparently addressing Kate Peter, who reviewed De Castro's website on her live stream the previous night, De Castro stated that he would be taking legal action as he feels that the review exposed trade secrets for claims made on her broadcast, including that a simple reverse image search disproved that the images De Castro used for testimonials were apparently not authentic examples of damage caused by handcuffs. De Castro's website had been published and was accessible to anyone with an internet browser until late day on Thursday when it was removed. A cached copy of the site remains in Bing's cache. Users in various internet forums, including Chille Watch on Kate Peters' Discord server, had also made accusations that the testimonials provided on the site by De Castro were written by an OpenAI website, which De Castro has allegedly admitted using for his more recent legal filings.
Fans upset after Long Island audits appears on Masshole. I'm Johnny Jones, and this article was originally published on January 13, 2023. While Kate Peters stated she was not concerned about blowback from her recent live stream featuring Long Island Audit, a figure who is divisive in both the auditing and anti-auditing communities, there was indeed blowback, but not immediately against Peter. YouTuber Here's the Deal released a 30-minute indictment of Long Island Audit for apologizing to authorities as part of a plea deal in a 2021 case, where Long Island Audit was arrested for interfering with a traffic stop. Here's the Deal feels that Long Island Audit's actions empowered police into taking more legal action against those in the auditing community. Long Island Audit replied directly on Here's the Deal's video, which Here's the Deal pinned to the post. At Long Island Audit, I find it very interesting that the title of your video was, "Did LI's apology damage our rights in America?" Yet not once in your video do you present facts that would answer this question. I expected more than some gossip piece insinuating I create fake accounts to comment on others' videos. I am extremely disappointed. You could have at bare minimum presented facts. Remember, facts don't care about your feelings. I am sure that the LEOs are watching this and laughing. I will continue to be on the ground fighting for my rights and the rights of others. Stay blessed. YouTuber Broken System Broken Trust, who also appeared in the chat during the live stream, made news of his own as Dummy Kruger broke a story involving Broken System Broken Trust actions during a recent court hearing. Kruger released audio of Broken System Broken Trust arguing with his court-appointed attorney after Broken System Broken Trust turned a statement by the attorney that broken system, broken trust needed to show up on time for court turned into an argument about police corruption. In related news, YouTuber Turtle Boy Sports followed through with his promised video on Kate Peters' husband, Andrew Johnson, after Turtle Boy Sports had an altercation with Johnson after a recent court hearing. In the 2-hour and 46-minute broadcast, Turtle Boy Sports claimed to have been acting in a role of a journalist when he approached Peter after the court date and continued to make damning statements about Peter during his broadcast. Peter recently claimed on her Discord server that she has filed a police report reporting Turtle Boy Sports for illegally wiretapping her live chat on Sunday, January 8, 2023.